Welcome to Love's Revolution, the podcast where we unpack the past to better understand our present. I'm your host, Cornell, and today we're diving into a complex and deeply emotional issue: racism in South Africa, specifically under the rule of the African National Congress, or ANC. When apartheid officially ended in 1994, millions of South Africans believed a new chapter begun, a chapter of equality, dignity, and justice. The ANC, led by Nelson Mandela, promised transformation, not revenge. The Rainbow Nation was born, a symbol of unity across racial lines. But fast forward to today, over 30 years later, and the dream feels complicated. South Africa remains one of the most unequal countries in the world, and much of that inequality still falls along racial lines. Despite being the political majority, Black South Africans are still disproportionately affected by poverty, unemployment, and poor service delivery. Critics argue that the ANC government has failed to dismantle the economic structures of apartheid. Land ownership remains skewed. White South Africans, less than 8% of the population, still control a significant portion of the economy. But here's the twist. While structural racism persists against Black South Africans, there's growing debate about whether ANC-era politics and rhetoric have also fueled new forms of racial tension. Policies like Black economic empowerment, employment equity, and land reform were introduced to correct historical injustices. For many, they are necessary tools of redress. But for others, especially in the white and colored communities, these policies are seen as discriminatory or exclusionary. Is it racism or is it justice? This question often divides public opinion. Some feel that affirmative action has become a tool for political patronage rather than upliftment. Others argue that true transformation requires bold, even uncomfortable steps. Under the ANC, racial identity has remained central to political discourse. Politicians have at times leaned into populist rhetoric, blaming white monopoly capital for economic stagnation or framing criticism as racially motivated betrayal. This has created a volatile climate. Some white South Africans feel vilified, some Black Africans feel betrayed by their own government's failure to deliver on its promise. Meanwhile, South Africans of Indian and colored descent often feel caught in the middle, marginalized in a binary race debate. And then there's xenophobia, violence against African migrants, which adds yet another layer to the conversation on race and belonging in South Africa. So, is South Africa a racist country today? The honest answer: racism still exists, but it's no longer just black and white. It's class, it's access, it's history colliding with the present. The ANC came into power with the hopes of creating a non-racial society, but decades later, we're still grappling with how to define equality without erasing history and without creating new forms of exclusion. True transformation won't come from rhetoric. It will come from honest conversations, accountability, and policy that uplifts without dividing. Thanks for listening to Love's Revolution. If today's episode got you thinking, or if you have a story to share, we'd love to hear from you. Subscribe, rate us, and join the conversation on social media. Until next time, I'm Cornell. Stay curious, stay critical, and never stop questioning.